Hi there, it's Emmett. I'm once again reporting to you from the floor of my apartment. Looks like my cat's gonna come over. And I'm from the Tables Community Advocacy Office, and I mentioned in the previous video from our team that I've been working on LEAP applications. So today I'd like to share with you some information about how we're doing that under the current circumstances. So if you've done a LEAP application with us before, some of this information will be familiar to you, but there are just a few changes just to keep everybody involved in the process as safe as possible that ourselves and LEAP have put in place. So if you're unfamiliar with LEAP, it's the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, which is intended to help low-income customers who are significantly behind on their hydro bills. So depending on a number of factors, the program can provide up to $500 or $600 of credit towards what you owe on your hydro bill and help you avoid having services disconnected. So that's the intention of the program. So the first step in making a LEAP application is to call United Way at 1-855-487-5327. Now, if you're relatively comfortable with technology, which in this case means that you have something like a phone or a tablet or a device that you can take photos with and email them, if you can take photos and email them, you have everything you need to submit the application as an individual, and you might find that route faster on the current circumstances than going through us as an agency, just because there's another stage of the process in terms of verification. If you let LEAP know that you are completing the application through the table, which is still absolutely an option, then your application will be emailed to us, and we will contact you by phone when it arrives to move on to the next stage in the process. So, regardless of whether you're completing the LEAP application as an individual or through us, there's just a few documents that you'll need to gather. So first of all, you'll need some form of identification for all of the members of your household. So that's anybody who lives in the dwelling that the hydro bill that you're trying to cover the arrears on lives in. So this includes your children, any children who live with you, even part-time. And what you need is some form of identification to confirm everybody's names and birth dates legally. So government ID that confirms names and birth dates for everybody in the house. You'll also need your most recent utility bill, which shows how much you owe, as well as your account information, like your account number and all of that stuff. You'll also need some form of proof of income, such as a recent pay stub, it can be, or ODSP, OW, or CPP statement, or a bank statement. We can identify where the income is coming from in the bank statement, regardless of how you get paid, as long as it's going into a bank account, and we can identify that. And the fourth thing you'll need is some kind of proof of your housing situation, such as a lease or rental agreement, which has to be typed. It can't be handwritten by your landlord, or a mortgage statement, or again, maybe you only have a handwritten informal lease agreement, rental agreement, in which case you can get us a bank statement that shows the outgoing funds. They're mainly looking for what your housing costs are, because that's part of the process. If you own your home, you can also submit documentation of that, such as the deed to the house. We just need to know what your housing costs are. So if you are completing the application through us, the easiest and safest option, again, will be to do the application completely remotely. So if you have a device such as a phone and you can take photos of your documents with it and email them to us, you've got this. If you use services such as paperless billing or online banking, which of course even more of us are doing now, screen caps are great too. In fact, they're crystal clear, very easy to read. We love that. And the advocates can help you figure things out over the phone or email if you're not quite sure how to do everything. And that's true if you're applying as an individual or through us. But if you're ready to try a remote application, we're with you and we can help you out with that. And after you send the documents, an advocate will call you to complete a follow-up interview to finish the application, and it will then be emailed back to you to add your digital signature, which is a very simple, user-friendly process. Now, if the remote application is not a good option for you, maybe you don't have a phone or a device, or you're not totally comfortable with the technology, we are working on safe procedures to be able to meet you outside the table building by appointment to get those documents from you in person in a safe, sanitary way, scan them, complete follow-up interview, and sign the forms. which will most likely take place outside in the garden. A nice little bench out back there is a great location for this if the weather is nice. Excuse me while I splice in footage because everything is changing. So if the remote application is not a good option for you, we are scheduling in-person appointments for LEAP applications. To ensure everyone's safety, we'll be keeping appointments limited to completing these applications when the remote option does not work for you. So to request an appointment, you will first need to call or email the advocacy office, and we will then do as much of the verification as we can by phone for the application. So you'll answer some questions over the phone, and then when we have an appointment scheduled, we'll ask you to complete a short COVID-19 self-assessment survey on the day of your appointment, and to wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth during our appointment if you're able to do so. The advocate meeting with you will also be wearing a mask and keeping their hands and items they come in contact with sanitary, and there will be hand sanitizer available to you as well. We'll be scheduling these appointments at a time when the Good Food Bank and the community meals are not happening, both for safety and privacy during the meeting, as they'll be happening either outside or in the dining room. So you won't be stuck in that little office where there's not a lot of breathing space. We'll either be outside in the garden or inside in a larger space. So that is our option for in-person meetings if you are not able to do it remotely. So if you are waiting for this in-person option to complete your application, just stay tuned for an announcement about when we will be able to offer that option. It is in the works. We really appreciate how patient and understanding our participants have been during this crisis, and we know it's brought a lot of new complications for many of you, and we really miss seeing you face to face in our office, but we are so glad to be able to continue to help from home so that we can keep our community safe. Whether it's for LEAP or ODSP or a listening ear to help you navigate other community resources, any kind of questions you might have about what's available, what's still happening, what's on hold right now, we really look forward to hearing from you. And you can always get in touch with us by calling 613-267-6428, extension 29, and leave a message. And we're all collecting those messages from home, or email advocacy@thetablecfc.org. And you'll find a transcript of this video and the accompanying post on Facebook so you can review any of the information you need from it. And with that, stay as safe as you can, everybody. Take care of yourself and your family, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye.